Hey, good Labor Day to everybody. Monday, September 7th, and this is the MLB Rundown. I'm your buddy Choppadong. We're sponsored by DFSArmy.com, your one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy sports, top to bottom, MMA, NBA, NFL, whatever you want to play, we've got it here for you. Head down to the comments section, click the link, and join the VIP program at DFS Army. Of course, use the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P. Get that 20% off discount, and click the like and subscribe button while you're down there. Really appreciate that as you guys continue to help me build the following and spread the love of the notorious small ballas out there in the world playing small money, hoping to make big money. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to dive into the research station after I let you know that we have content for week 1 NFL dropping all over the place. I have a new article myself. Hopefully you guys enjoy as you read through that. It'll be on the timeline on Twitter throughout the week. It'll be at dfsarmy.com, of course, too. It is called NFL Winning Fantasy Football on a Budget. For those of you, we're going to make the small ball thing a legendary thing. We're going to really embrace playing for teeny tiny quarters, dimes, and nickels while other people are winning big bucks. Hopefully you, if you want to play for big bucks, you graduate through the system and you become one of those guys who thumbs his nose at us, looks down at all of us small ballas, and laughs gleefully as you've graduated to the nosebleeds. That's what I want for you. But in the meantime, those of us down here slumming in the low stakes, we're going to keep on doing what we do because we enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Anywho, we jump into the pitching tab at the MLB research station. We sort W score by ascending order, and we notice that these numbers are not really big today. That means that we don't have any golden matchups. That means that things are going to be a little bit, should I say, balanced, or we don't know really which teams are the strong. They're not super strong matchups like we get on some other slates. Instead, these are just the strongest that we have on a mediocre slate. Some teams may score 8,000 runs today. We just don't know which ones they are. The indicators aren't super strong. So bear that in mind. Maybe instead of focusing on 1 or 2 or 3 key offenses, maybe spread out a little bit today. Grab 5, 6, 7, 8 different offenses. Choice is yours, but that's what I see right off the bat looking at these numbers. Now, I do see on the bottom here a lot of pinks. I see some greens starting to filter in, but high home run per 9 numbers here for Montgomery and Javier. I may target those. I see a big Sierra up here and Brad Keller. I may target that. So if I slide over and look, Brad Keller, Cleveland, probably on the map. Javier, Oakland, probably on the map. Plesac's not great. Montgomery, Toronto, probably on the map. But down here, we're looking for San Diego in a great spot against Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland's been pretty bad lately. So after all, that's probably the spot we're going to target the heaviest. Arizona don't have a lot of confidence in that offense, but it can score 5, 6 runs. And if you get the mini stack in there, maybe you've got something that'll put you over the edge. Houston will probably be relatively popular. So this is really just generally what we're looking at today. Okay? Not really anything jumping off the page as really ringing the bell, but a few good, okay matchups that we can target and put some weight into. And then these are definitely offenses up here that we probably will avoid a little bit as we go through the day. Now, we go to the batting matchups tab and we see if we can't find something like Toronto and San Diego all over the place on this top graphic here. So maybe we actually decide to include more Toronto. We already saw San Diego as the best pitching matchup on the slate theoretically. Not that it's even that strong. What was it, like a 560 WOBA? We've seen W score. We've seen over 600 the past few days. But I'm looking here at these two guys, these two teams at the top. And so I would anticipate they're going to be pretty chalky. I would anticipate a lot of people will see this too. They may not use my method to spot it. They may dig for hours before they finally come across that. But we're only 4 minutes in, and we've already seen the two biggest stacks on the slate for today are probably Toronto and San Diego. What we will do, I've also filtered off by 550 to lower my W score just a smidge, to incorporate more players, being that it's not as strong a slate today. And we'll just go position by position. And we'll look at our catchers. And we're going to automatically see some names jump to the top as soon as it stops working on it. Danny Jansen, Austin Nola. If you like them, boost them in the projections. If you don't like them, don't. They're pretty cheap. It's not that big of a deal. I don't think either one of these guys necessarily ripped the cover off the ball, so I would temper my expectations there. Matt Olson, Vladimir Guerrero. Vladimir's heated up a little bit recently, so I would definitely boost the projections on those two. These are the kinds of guys I want in my lineups. I don't want Austin Nola necessarily. I don't mind if he ends up in there as part of stacks and stuff, but he's not the big bopper one-off that I'm looking for that's going to really break a slate for me if he's not in a stack. I could stack San Diego and Toronto, and then I'm going to want to see somebody a little bit, even Brandon Lau can hit a couple of home runs. I just don't need to see the little bottom of the order guys sitting in there that don't really have big ISOs or big WOBAs, if that makes sense. So that's why I don't really care about those catchers. But the first baseman I do care about. Lastea and Lau, I would Lau, whatever. I'd probably incorporate them. Machado definitely would love to see him. If I don't have a San Diego stack, let's say I have a Cleveland and a Toronto stack, and then all of a sudden Machado pops in there as a one-off, I'd be a happy camper. Tatis as well. VR, yeah, he's probably okay. Guriel, Oscar, Teoscar Hernandez, I call him Oscar. We're on a first name basis. What are you going to do? Will Myers, Randall Grichuk, Juan Soto, Jorge Soler, Austin Meadows, Sam Hilliard. Hilliard's even an okay one off. I'd like to see him hit a little bit better than he had been lately because since I've been paying attention to him the past couple of weeks, he's kind of cooled off. So that brings us into a good transition actually into the trends tab. And I'll show you a little trick with that. And then we'll just wrap the video up for today. It's really, really simple. I guess I need to get rid of some of these teams here. These aren't going to help me much. I get down to these basic 6 teams that are on the 6 games, 12 teams that are on the slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got a couple of extras in there. Looks like St. Louis and I guess the Cubs are not on this one. Who is not on this slate? You may have already spotted them. Somebody's not on this slate today that I've got included in here. But anyhow, let's rock and roll anyway, and let's sort down this list. The L7 WOBA tab is the one that I like. It points out who on a short-term hot streak is really hitting the ball, right? And I also take the plate appearances and cut out those guys that are platoons. So I sort by, put a filter on there, click this little button here, go to number of filters greater than about 25 plate appearances. And that's generally going to get me rid of the guys that are mostly riding the pine. From there, I'm going to see names like Dickerson, Olson, Reyes, Adams, Smith, Hampson, whatever. These are guys that are hitting the ball pretty well. Anything over 500-ish, preferably 550 to 600. These are the guys that are really I'm going to boost in the projections, these guys up here, okay? So down to about Hampson, some of these guys, they should probably, if you want to boost Tellez or Yastrzemski, whatever, go for it. But these are generally the guys. I like comparing moving averages. I love looking at a very short-term average and then a longer-term average and seeing is he above or below his baseline. His baseline would be here, the season long, and if you wanted to use the 14-day window, that's fine. Somebody like Alex Dickerson, 350 is a baseline of 2 seasons. That's about what you can expect him to hit for WOBA. That's what he's been doing over a large sample of 2 seasons. But for 14 days, he's running at a 550. He's definitely running hot. Over the last 7 days, he's even hotter. His number, this 14-day number, is going to keep coming up as long as this number stays above the 14 number. So that's what I start to look for. I watch for the 7-day numbers to go above their 14 numbers, and I watch for the 7-day numbers to come below their 14 numbers. I come down here to somebody, let's say, scroll down the list a little bit more, and see like this one here. Who is this? Is this Martin Maldonado? 486 for 14 days, 442 for 7 days, starting to come down off his high. He's losing his buzz, if you will. 390 to 380, probably not all that significant. Now, 512 to 369 is huge. Kyle Tucker was hot a week ago. We're rostering him everywhere. Haven't been rostering him much lately. Why? Because he ain't hitting right now. That's what I like to use this tab for. What's he been doing? What's he doing now? What's he do traditionally? What's he been doing? What's he doing now? That's what I like to look for. Now, the trick that I'll show you is for people that really want to chase tournaments. Slide that over a little bit more, and let's go into the ISO tab too. We've got trending WOBA, which is the catch-all metric, weighted on base average. These guys don't make outs. A double's worth more than a single. A home run's worth more than a double. It adds weight. You hit a home run, your number's going to go up higher than if you just draw a walk, right? That's what WOBA does. But it rewards us for drawing walks because, after all, that didn't make an out, and that helps our team. It's a great cash game metric for baseball, but it's a great tournament metric as well. We can use it for both. I'm looking for the guys that carry high WOBAs, especially traditionally. Your Mike Trouts and whatever, of course, are always going to be on that list unless they're running very, very cold. Now, ISO is pure power. ISO doesn't give a crap about making outs. ISO only cares about how hard you hit that ball. Do you hit the gaps for doubles? Do you hit it over the wall for home runs? It's all it cares about. It's a power only metric. So when I'm looking and being that trending or being that WOBA is a An elite over a large sample size, say a season or so, elite is over 400. That's why 5, 6, 700 WOBAs on short terms are great. They're way over that 400. They show us the guy is really, really running hot. A 350, I'm not going to get excited about. A 700, you're dadgum right, I'm going to get excited about it. On the ISO side, 200 is elite. So, 150, 160, that's okay. That's a pretty powerful hitter. But over a 200, a 210, a 240, over a large sample size, these are guys that are really bopping the baseball, right? So now I'm looking for big spikes in this production over the short sample sizes. If I hit a home run today, I go 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and a bomb. My 1 day ISO is going to be way over 200. It's going to be like 1,000 or higher. It's going to be way up there. But if over the larger sample size, I'm traditionally at 200, and today I'm really hitting well, and I'm at 400, 700, whatever, then these are numbers that I can use for tournaments. These are guys that are currently hitting the ball really, really well, doing a lot of damage with the baseball. So just like the trending WOBA, I can use the larger sample size to see what he typically does, use the little bit smaller sample size of 14 days, what has he been doing lately, and then 7 day sample size, what's he doing right now? A 235 into a 500 into a 765 tells me the guy is ascending. The guy is still hot. I like that number. Now, on the other side of things, again, we scroll down here, we find a pretty big ISO in a 409. Well, I can't seem to find one that's going to do it for me. But okay, there's a 421 for Kyle Tucker again. How cold is he? He was a 421. He's traditionally a 288. He was a 421 for a couple of weeks, and now he's down to a 208. 208 is still good, but for 1 week, it's not hot. So this is all I'm trying to show is that, and what I really want to do, if I really want to go nuts and really put this thing on steroids, is I create a metric that I call WOBISO. WOBA and ISO together, WOBISO. What you're looking for, if you want to see the larger sample size here in the 2-year numbers, you're looking for a number over 600. Here's what it shows me. The guy can have a high WOBA and not a very high ISO, and he is helping me like mad. He's not making outs, hitting a lot of singles, drawing a lot of walks, Joey Votto style, whatever, right? Cash game type of player. But it also helps me if the guy doesn't hit as often, but hits bombs when he does. If he ends up with like a low WOBA, but a super high ISO, that also helps me. So both players should be on my roster just for different reasons. This number compares apples to apples. This number of 400 here and a 200 here gives us a 600. So if I add the 700 and the 700 together and get a 1,400, almost 1,500 for Alex Dickerson, how hot is that guy? These are the things that we can talk about inside DFS Army. These are the things that are going to make you a better player. Not only reading the graphs and reading the numbers, but making up your own numbers, understanding what these numbers do, what they're telling you, and not reading just the numbers, but reading through the numbers, reading past the numbers, reading beyond the numbers, creating your own numbers that make sense. That's how you get an edge in DFS MLB. And that's why you see our Army hats on leaderboards all the time. We know not only how to read the numbers, but we know how to manipulate the numbers to tell us things, areas that we should be targeting, teams, players that we should be targeting, and that gives us an advantage over you. If you want to flip the tables and get that advantage, you need to come inside. You need to become a VIP at dfsarmy.com. It's just that simple. Use the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, get the 20% discount that's making everybody rock stars to really toot our own horn. But get in here for NFL, NBA, MLB, MMA, NASCAR. We had huge wins in NASCAR, whatever. Make this game yours and get in here and start winning today. Hopefully Labor Day finds you well. Hopefully you see what I'm talking about here and you realize that you're just scratching the surface if you're watching my videos, and there's a whole lot more to talk about on the insides of VIP at dfsarmy.com. So welcome aboard if you join the team. Come on in. Let's get set for a big old NFL season. Let's wrap up this MLB season. Let's build that bankroll, and let's turn you into a nosebleeder instead of a smaller baller. I'm your buddy Chopadong, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.